Mapping out the historical privateer and corsair routes along the Bay of Biscay reveals exactly why this specific coastline was the ultimate hunting ground for century-level maritime operations. The geography of the bay acted like a natural choke point for global wealth, anchor the geographic trap. Why the Bay of Biscay? The Bay of Biscay is unique because the shallow continental shelf drops away into an absolute deep ocean abyss right off the French and Spanish border. When standard commercial galleons returned from the Americas heavily laden with silver, gold, and exotic goods, the prevailing Atlantic winds naturally pushed them straight into this funnel, because ships had to hug the coast to navigate safely around the Iberian Peninsula toward northern Europe. Basque and Norman privateers knew exactly where to sit and wait. Atlantic Ocean wealth routes prevailing winds Bay of Biscay friction zone, shallow versus deep water. Cantabrian coast, French Aquitaine coast, Hondarribia/Paia, Saint-Jean-de-Luz base. The three primary historical corsair routes. 1. The border funnel, Saint-Jean-de-Luz to Hondarribia, the blueprint. This was the bread and butter route for the local corsairs Basques. Operating out of the highly protected natural harbor of Saint-Jean-de-Luz, San Juan, fleets would slip past the Fort of Socoa at the mouth of the bay. The maneuver, they patrolled a tight, high-traffic visual baseline stretching across the Spanish-French border down to Hondarribia and Paia. They targeted Dutch and English merchants moving through the English Channel, using the jagged cliffs and river estuaries as blind spots to ambush passing Holt's Point 2. The Atlantic Deep Water Intercept, Cape St. Vincent to La Rochelle. The blueprint, French privateering extended far beyond the immediate coast. Norman captains from Dieppe and local Huguenot privateers out of La Rochelle would sail southwest entirely out of the shallow bay into the deep Atlantic shelf. The maneuver, they established a massive structural hunting line stretching from the Azores Islands down to Cape St. Vincent, Portugal. This is where legendary French privateer Jean Fleury intercepted the first Spanish treasure ships returning from the Americas in 1523, seizing literal chests of Aztec gold bullion, emeralds, and pearls before sailing them right back up into the Biscay ports to negotiate the prizes. 3. The Northern Channel Strike Route, Guipúzcoa to Ireland. The blueprint, as geopolitical alliances shifted in the mid-17th century, Basque corsairs from Dinastia San Sebastián and Hondarribia began establishing forward operational bases far away from home. The maneuver, they moved their vessels up into Galician ports to shorten their transit lines, using them as launchpads for continuous long-range strike routes up through the English Channel, the North Sea, and all the way to the coast of Ireland. They would capture cargo manifests containing wine, silk, cloth, and highly prized shipbuilding resources like tar and resin, then race back down into the Bay of Biscay to hide out in their home ports. Balance scale the law of the privateer. Unlike lawless pirates, these corsairs operated under a strict legal framework called letters of marque, backed directly by the King's Law, the port registry. When a prize ship was captured, it couldn't just be looted randomly. The vessel had to be sailed directly into a royal port registry, like the ones at Saint-Jean-de-Luz or La Rochelle, where royal notary clerks cross-stamped and liquidated the cargo. The border truce. Interestingly, the maritime communities along the Bay of Biscay were so focused on practical logistics that regions like Logbooks, France, and Guipúzcoa, Spain, signed independent border agreements, such as the treaties in 1652 and 1667. His rules stated that while the privateers could attack each other freely on the open ocean, no ships could ever be taken prisoner within their respective home ports, ensuring that the local trade corridors remained completely stable. Tracing these lines shows how perfectly common-sense seafaring logic merged with the raw physical shape of the global coastline to turn the Bay of Biscay into a multi-century engine of maritime history.